For any athlete, tearing an ACL is one of the most dreaded injuries out there. But what if I told you that our entire approach to fixing it is going through a massive, silent revolution? The old playbook is basically being tossed out the window, and it's all because of some hard data that, honestly, changes everything.
Just think about it for a second. The doctor gives you the bad news. After that initial shock wears off, there is one single burning question that every single athlete has, whether you're a pro or just a weekend warrior.
And there it is. When can I play again? For decades, this has been the North Star of ACL rehab. It was all about the calendar, right? Just counting down the days, the weeks, the months until you could get back out there. The whole recovery was just anchored to time.
But here's the twist. It turns out that focusing only on when might be the completely wrong question. And it's not just a little off. The latest science shows it could actually be dangerous, setting people up for the one thing they're trying to avoid, tearing it all over again.
A huge study dropped a pretty staggering number on us. Athletes who went back to their sport based on that old, fast-tracked timeline, they were 7 times more likely to re-rupture their ACL. Let that sink in. 7 times. That's not a small margin of error. That is a massive, flashing red light that the old way was just wrong.
So, what's the solution? Well, it's a total paradigm shift. We are moving away from that arbitrary timeline, the calendar, and we're starting to embrace a new model that's all about objective, measurable criteria. It's not about how long it's been anymore, it's about what your body can actually do.
The old way of thinking was so simple, right? Hey, has it been 6 months since my surgery? You just look at the calendar. Yep. Okay, good to go. But the new way, it asks a much tougher question. Have I actually passed the test that prove my knee can handle what my sport is going to throw at it? We're moving from just assuming to actually knowing.
So yeah, the whole conversation has to change. We have to stop asking when, and we need to start asking how. How do we measure readiness? How do we prove that the knee is strong, it's stable, and it's truly ready for the chaos of a real game? And that's where the data comes in.
All right, let's get into the hard evidence. We're going to take a closer look at that landmark study that gave us that shocking 7 times number.
So the study looked at 2 different groups of athletes. You had the standard return group. These folks were back playing in about 5 to 7 months, which was pretty typical for years. Then you had the delayed return group. They waited at least 9 months. The only real difference was the amount of time they waited. But wow, the results weren't even in the same ballpark.
First, let's talk about how their knees actually worked. Using a standard scoring system that looks at stuff like stability and pain, the delayed group scored in the excellent range. Their knees were basically back to normal. The standard, early return group, they only ranked as good. And that gap